Well, hello everyone and happy Monday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I talk about some of 48's top news stories and then some before the 4 o'clock newscast. I hope you all had an awesome weekend, and thank you so much wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. Wherever it is you're watching, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Monday afternoon here, starting the week off right here. Now, we have quite a bit to jump into, so I say it is time we start things off. And if you were looking forward to going out to Wuest Family Field to cheer on the Alabama Beavers, a brand new International Football Association team here in the Rocket City this season, I got some bad news for you. Earlier today, we learned that the team, which hasn't even played a game as a team yet, was removed indefinitely from the league. The reason for the removal? The league's claiming fraud. According to a press release we got earlier today from Jason Adams with the IFA, Beavers managing partner Charles or CJ Drinkard is accused of fraudulent financial activity, misrepresentation and deceit, unfulfilled financial obligations, sponsorship misconduct, and failure to meet and uphold league ethical requirements. Now, as a result, the team is no longer eligible for the league. Now, the team has posted since that press release has been posted, claiming the Alabama Beavers actually withdrew from the IFA back on April 10th, and then the press release came out today. They are saying on their Twitter that the IFA is mudslinging and all their games will still happen just with a new league. Now, this is all we know on this situation at this time. Quite a wild situation. 48's Nick Ballinger is working to learn as much as he can, and you can read that full statement along with all the details of Drinkard's alleged fraud right now on our website. Just go to WAFF.com. But now, heading out to Limestone County, let me silence that real quick, where one is dead and two are injured in a house fire overnight. Officials say the fire happened on Elk River Mills Road. Limestone County Coroner Mike Wuest says the deceased man was a man in his 50s. Wuest says two family members were living in the home and one of them passed away. One of the family members and one was another person. They were both taken to the hospital for treatment. Neither the deceased nor the injured have been identified at this time. Now, the Alabama State Fire Marshal and the Limestone County Sheriffs are investigating the situation. And 48's Callie Neese will have more coming up in our evening newscasts. But now let's turn over to the weather. This is what I'm talking about. A beautiful April day today, and it's looking like the sunshine is here to stay for a little while. Let's turn it over to 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis for the latest forecast.
Of the day today, it's been breezy, in fact windy at times. Wind gusts around 30 miles an hour. No rain out there. There's a front coming in tonight though, and that's going to change our chance for rain. A few spotty showers mainly after midnight. Again, a little choppy out on area lakes. We've made it into the low 80s. It feels great. We have some low humidity though for being in the low 80s this time of year, and that's why we really don't have a big chance at thunderstorms overnight tonight. 86 currently in Muscle Shoals just before 3:30 this Monday afternoon. It's 86 in Huntsville, 82 in Albertville and Boaz. Next 12 hours, we keep the temperatures in the 70s through at least 10 o'clock tonight. Just an isolated shower or thunderstorm around 1 o'clock in the morning. You see here by 9:30 tonight, the clouds start increasing, and here comes our chance for a shower or thunder shower, most likely between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. That's 2:30 in the morning. Most of these storm chances are going to be along Highway 64 in southern Middle Tennessee. Many of you will sleep right through this. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up with some clouds, northwest wind kicking in, and temperatures, well, they'll struggle early on. We'll get some sunshine out there by noon, and the temperatures will warm into the mid and upper 60s. Here's your 3-day forecast. As we dip into the 60s tomorrow, we go right back into the 70s. Wednesday and Thursday, a little chilly Wednesday morning, though, with lows around 41 degrees. Good Friday looks good with high temperatures around 80, and your Easter weekend looks fantastic. No rain chances until Easter Sunday night. That's as early as it gets.
And that is certainly what I want to hear there. That is my kind of weather. No rain, all sunshine. I love it. I see Miss Donna Oliver out of Phil Campbell, Alabama, commented, "Happy Monday to you, Miss Donna. I hope all is well out there." And I know Miss Donna will be watching the First Alert Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. 48's Brad Travis will be back here in the CTV Center giving you all the latest he's seeing on the radar. So definitely, you're just not going to want to miss that. But now let's turn over to a story in case you missed it over the weekend. A Hazel Green woman is all set to host her second annual mental health awareness event for those struggling in the community with their mental health and addiction. 48's Noah Cowell reports.
Last year, Emily Ragland organized the first ever Hazel Green Alumni Wellbeing Check-In, an event where people struggling with addiction and mental health issues came to have free food and drinks with old friends while hearing the testimony from the former addict herself.
When they realized I was so open and honest about my addiction, they really appreciated that. They're like, if you can be so open about it. I said, yeah, it's not pretty. I mean, it's not pretty, but it's the truth, and it's made me who I am today.
After last year's event, Ragland says she helped 21 people get into drug rehabs and 16 others into mental health rehab facilities, despite none of them having health insurance.
After the event, people started reaching out and saying, I need some help. And you know, you can't help everybody, but I put forth my best effort to help as many as I can, and I know there were people that were helped, and I know there were lives saved. And that's what this whole event's about.
Ragland says around 70% of the people they helped are still in active recovery. She hopes to continue that impact again this year on the 27th, this time with an upgraded facility on the Heritage Corner Farm and more speakers who benefited from last year's check-in. Someone who plans on attending is State Representative Rex Reynolds, who has given Ragland a $2,000 grant each year to fund the event.
We're really bringing it to the community. We've got services there that'll be highlighted during our program. Very excited about it. It was huge last year. It's an awareness of what services are available, and a program like that may touch people that we otherwise can't touch.
Well, good deal. Love to see that. Yes, let me head into this story now. Well, after getting fined last year for not responding to enough emergency calls on time, the Decatur Morgan Hospital ambulance service has now met that required response time in 2 straight quarters. In the first 3 months of 2025, the ambulance service responded to 92% of emergencies in the city within 9 minutes. That's above the 90% requirement. 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy spoke with Ambulance Service Director Tyler Stinson, who says staff shortages were partially responsible for the slower response times last year. More people have been hired, however, which has helped. But Stinson also says the quality of the people hired is also making a big difference. Take a listen.
Our crews have done an excellent job of making sure they're putting themselves at the right place at the right time. They're making sure they're posting like they're supposed to do, and really they're the reason why we've been able to meet our response times.
Love to hear it. That is great. But now, coming up after the break, we'll talk about Easter prices. Easter this Sunday, of course. The first ever all-female crew in outer space. One of them, a popular singer, and a fun mud run going on this weekend. It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, time is up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, Easter is less than a week away, and with sky-high prices on everything from eggs to chocolate, the holiday could look a lot different for families celebrating this year. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is here with more on that.
It's a holiday that usually means lots of eggs and lots of chocolate. But this year, that traditional Easter basket will likely cost you extra.
Has anyone decided what we are going to be hiding? Eggs, potatoes, or tomatoes? Because I can't fathom spending $40+ on eggs.
Despite a drop in wholesale prices and fewer bird flu outbreaks last month, the average cost of eggs reached a record high of $6.23 a dozen.
What we're seeing here is a lag. Retailers are taking a little bit of extra time unexpectedly to reduce those prices for consumers. We are not seeing those prices go down in time for Easter.
The price of chocolate also sky high due to a global cocoa shortage. It's all part of the reason why this year U.S. consumers are projected to spend a total of $23.6 billion on Easter, up from $22.4 billion last year. The biggest spending categories: decorations, gifts, food, and candy. At Hercules Candies, a local institution in East Syracuse, New York, prices of solid chocolates have gone up about 20% in the last year, including some Easter favorites, like their white chocolate bunnies.
We tried to hold the line on prices for as long as we can, but there comes a time when we just have to raise it. The customers have not really pushed back on the prices because they're so loyal. We're just going to be extremely busy this week.
Consumers aren't entirely giving up on eggs either. Kelly Friedel, a mom of two from Chicago, is trying something different with her family this year.
We chose to do something called foil eggs. You can take cardboard, cut them to the shape of an egg, wrap them in some tin foil. There's a couple of positive benefits too that we figured out. We're able to mail them. We're mailing them to grandma, we're mailing one to grandpa.
For many families this Easter holiday, the hunt is on for egg-turnatives, from dip-dyed marshmallows to potatoes, rocks, and plastic. Arts and crafts giant Michaels says its #1 selling Easter product so far is this craft egg kit, currently on sale for just $2.49. It comes with a dozen plastic eggs, even an egg carton, all designed to mimic the traditional decorating experience. And while discounts for real eggs may be hard to come by, major retailers like Target, Kroger, and Walmart are all promising affordable holiday meal bundles to feed the whole family, from as low as $5 to $6 a person, proving there's still ways to save big this Easter Sunday.
Some pretty creative ideas right there. Awesome. And now, just in time for summer travel season, major changes are in the works when it comes to how we fly. From that looming Real ID deadline to a tech upgrade. Already in place at some airports, that may mean the end of paper boarding passes. NBC's Maggie Vespa is at Chicago's O'Hare with more on this one and what it means for your upcoming spring and summer travel plans.
Just in time for the summer travel season, now major shifts in the way we fly are underway, starting with the rush to get a real ID in the next few weeks.
What do you mean I have until May 7th to get a real ID?
The federal government still sticking to that long-delayed May 7th deadline, requiring travelers using a driver's license to board domestic flights to have a real ID, which has specific markings on the top of the card.
I don't think anyone expected that the day would finally come.
The TSA has said it can phase in enforcement, but those hoping to avoid delays are heading to the DMV in droves.
The real ID driver's licensing appointments are now booked out to June in my area.
Passports, of course, will still work to get through security, but there may be more changes lining up for summer travel, including potential new rules that would make paper tickets a thing of the past. The International Civil Aviation Organization, a UN agency that advises countries on aviation practices, is looking to roll out a new digital travel credential, according to the Times of London, which would allow passengers to upload their passport info to their phones and use a scan of their face to check in, drop bags, and board a plane. How massive of a change would this be?
Something like this would really be a step into the future.
While the ICAO has not confirmed its plans to NBC News, the concept is similar to a TSA pilot program.
With touchless ID, there's no need to show a physical ID or boarding pass at security checkpoints.
Pre-check travelers flying with Delta, United, or Alaska Airlines can use their face to board at select airports, including Atlanta, DCA, LAX, and LaGuardia, as Americans coast to coast get ready for a busy travel season.
Now in a bit of space news, a Blue Origin rocket with an all-female crew flew into space today. Journalist Gayle King, singer Katy Perry, and philanthropist Lauren Sanchez were among the crew members. Priscilla Thompson reports from West Texas.
Yeah, a historic day here in West Texas as we saw that capsule touch down and blow up all of that dust. And of course, out emerged these 6 women who were on board. This is the first all-female crew of more than one person ever. This has not been done since the first woman went up solo in 1963, and so quite a historic moment. And we saw all of this emotion on the ground as these women got off of that capsule. We saw Katy Perry holding the daisy in honor of her daughter. We saw Gayle King and others kissing the ground, just glad to be back down on Earth. And of course, a lot of emotions and a lot of tears as they are just reflecting on their place in the world and what it was like to be up there floating above the earth, seeing those dramatic images of the place that we call home. And so just a lot of emotion on the ground here during this historic day. And I should note also historic because Amanda Nguyen has now become the first Vietnamese woman ever in space.
Really cool stuff, and you can learn all about the Blue Origin launch earlier today in our evening newscast as well as online. But yes, shout out Katy Perry going to space. I know she sang about it in a few of her songs I listened to growing up, so awesome development there. That is incredible. But now let's talk about an awesome run happening this weekend in Madison. The 8th annual Mustang Mud Run is happening at Madison Academy. The annual run features a 5K, over 20 team-building obstacle courses, and of course, plenty of mud. This year, the run is remembering a young man who played an integral part of Madison Academy, along with the mud run. Race director Terry Spear explains.
This year, unfortunately, back in November, we lost one of our class of 2019 alum, William Tex Bailey. And Tex was a huge part of our Madison Academy life. He was involved in football and theater and choir, and he always was there to help out. He was always one who would test obstacles for me in the beginning. He always helped me do a pre-run. And every year, even after he graduated and went off to Eastern Kentucky University, he would come back to do the mud run. And so when we lost him in November due to a training incident while he was trying to be a forest ranger, we decided this year that we were going to dedicate this year's mud run to him. So we have one heat, the 10 o'clock heat, that is strictly for his supporters. And then we also have dedicated one of our obstacles, Goliath. We have dedicated that one to Tex this year because he helped to build it originally and was such a big part of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah, we're all so very sad that we lost him, and we just want to keep honoring his memory and letting people know how wonderful he was.
Awesome interview today, and we will publish that full web story and that full interview later on today, so keep an eye out for that. But an awesome event going on in Madison County, all to remember Tex Bailey, of course, an integral part of the mud run. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that web story. It seems like it's a super awesome event. They've been doing it for 8 years now at Madison Academy, and it is a lot of fun. It seems like a great team building exercise. She's mentioned that a bunch of different JROTCs compete against each other, and as well as fraternities, athletic teams, and it all is to raise money for fine arts at Madison Academy. So yeah, keep an eye out for that getting published later on today with all of those details. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year, but I might be physically fit enough to go through all those obstacles next year. That is definitely the goal. If I can finish that, I would be happy next year 100%. But awesome. Now, today on the good side, a high school student in New York was struggling. He says he almost dropped out, but the power of song may have given him purpose. Local News Live's Aaron Lawyer brings us his story.
This is the voice that had Frank DiGiulio's fellow math classmates stunned. Before he took his place in the music suite, DiGiulio had a rough first 3 years. His grades and attendance suffering from his lack of interest in school. That all came to an end when the custodian and principal took a chance on him.
I was about to throw in the white flag. I was really in a horrible spot. Mr. Jones and Mr. Youngs had corresponded with each other. They thought up a plan and they were like, listen, Frank, if you start coming to school every day, we're going to give you a job and we're going to help you out.
After hearing DiGiulio sing Frank Sinatra instead of doing his math work, a couple of music students sought him out while he was mopping the staircase. It was like a scene out of the film Good Will Hunting, but instead of mathematics, it was the gift of music.
Be a teacher who has a subject matter that gets students excited about coming to school, gets them out of bed in the morning. It's something that helps me get out of bed in the morning, and it's something I love to do, so getting to share that with my students is just so awesome.
Flattered at first, a bit surprised, a bit annoyed because I was mopping a staircase, but what I did come to find out is that these people cared a lot about me and they wanted to see me succeed.
DiGiulio took a chance on himself and auditioned for National Association for Music Education All-Eastern Modern Band Ensemble, beating out kids from Maine to Maryland and all the states in between to be chosen as the only male vocalist.
There's so many people in this building who are extremely talented, and they don't get the recognition they deserve, and I see that. And, the fact that they would choose me, of course, I've worked, I put the work and I put the effort in, but I see so many people who are not being represented.
It's not just his talent. He's such a good person. He always thinks about someone else first, and there's really no one more deserving.
The All-Eastern concert Frank DiGiulio is participating in will take place on April 26th in Hartford, Connecticut. And the original song you've been hearing through the story, written by the Windsor Modern Band class, will be available on Spotify in June. Aaron Lawler, 12 News, Broome County.
That is so awesome. But now let's head into the stories that you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. The latest on the shooting in Mentone. 48 Savannah Sap will have more on that. The murder trial for a Fayetteville, Tennessee man continues. 48's Faith Delp is there today and we'll have everything that transpired in court today coming up. And finally, tips for keeping your children safe on social media. And these are just a few of the stories that you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And you all know what time it is now. Of course, it is time for Facebook fun. That's right, our 48 Facebook question of the day. We have a fresh one here to start the week here on Monday. What is your favorite time of the year? And I'm not going to lie, what I'm feeling outside right now, it might be a bit too cold right now. I do like the luxury of being able to jump into the water, maybe the pool, the lake, and not really freeze. So it might be a little bit too cold for me, but I like the warmer months. I like the Mays, the Junes, the Julys. August can sometimes get a little bit too hot and too humid down here in the South. In the month of August, and I'm ready for it to be fall again. But what I want to know is what you all had to say. Let's see. Spring and summer, Soretta Slack. Let's see, Remy said fall, crisp morning run, and warm days. Okay, that's kind of getting into this time of year. It's kind of cool in the morning, but then warms up a bit. Winter all day, every day. Now that's something, Gina, I cannot really agree with you on, but we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. Michelle said summer. Gotta love summer. I mean, for me, it's always easy to cool off if I'm hot, but it is in the winter time. I don't know about you all. It is so hard to warm up. Like, I stay cold all day in the winter. James Jordan, fall in football. cannot go wrong with that. You got to respect that. Aaron Watt said, nap time. Me and you both. That might be my new favorite season, honestly, nap time. Yeah, who needs the 4 seasons? You just need naps. And I can nap in all of the seasons, 100%. And then back to Soretta. Let's see if you guys had other awesome comments. Let's see. Not a whole lot of springs, which kind of surprises me. Not a whole lot of spring comments. We have a few. I think, honestly, it was just Soretta that had a spring. Quite a bit of falls. Definitely love fall as well, because you get kind of a break from that extremely hot weather. The August, the Septembers even here in the Tennessee Valley can be extremely humid and extremely hot. So it is nice to get into October, get that cool down. I always describe the month of October as the center of a crisp apple, and that is exactly how I would describe just the entire month of October, one of my favorite months. Yeah, if you're watching at home right now, feel free to comment on YouTube or Facebook. I'm just seeing Miss Donna's comment on Facebook right now. But yes, yeah, I think I'm going to go with my favorite month of the year is October, but definitely got to go with the summer being my all-time favorite season. But I do not see eye to eye with Gina. Yeah, we're definitely agreeing to disagree there. But that is the beauty of life, honestly. But that is just about it for today's Before the Four. I'm almost out of time. Thank you all for starting your week off here, spending a bit of your Monday afternoon here. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 Digital app, the 48 First Alert Weather app, and of course the 48 Sports Zone app. Turn on those push notifications and you will never miss a breaking news story. With that said, I'll see you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great night.